Awesome.
And
Well,
in action.
okay, well, welcome back, everyone. I am so glad that you've tuned in today and you've joined us here at Higher Deeper Collective. And today on our member spotlight, we have got Alioune Faye with us from Maglaction. So welcome, Alioune. So glad you could be with us.
Thanks for having me, Sue. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and even talk about Maglaction. So I had to jump on this.
Yeah, awesome. Well, at Higher Deeper, we're all about really digging into leadership and how leaders of business, how leaders in the Christian space, how leaders in not-for-profit actually find supports and actually find their way through, I guess, journey through. And so today we're going to be just asking Alioune and chatting with him just about a few of those things in his leadership journey that have helped him along the way and helped him to gain clarity, helped him to gain community and really be able to forge ahead with what he's doing. But first up, can you tell us just a little bit about Maglaction, how it came to be, and what is this amazing thing called Maglaction?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Sue. So Maglaction stands for Magnify Local Action. And so this idea it's been in my head for quite some time. And thanks to Higher Deeper, that's how it came into being. But I always wanted to obviously give back to my community, but due to my always being all over the world, traveling kind of nature, it was hard to either grow roots or set this local action in one spot. And so the idea was just there, but didn't really germinate as of yet. And so what it's there for is really to empower communities. And just because I've been exposed to so many churches, I thought to myself, well, what do I have that I can give to communities and churches, which is my tech side of things. Uh, there's also business sides and everything, but really, what I do see the community liking a lot, or churches liking a lot of, is the tech side of things. And so, what Maglaction is here for is to help churches um, magnify their tech capabilities so that they can impact their local communities even more. So that's how Maglaction came to be.
Yeah,
Or
and I think
Maglaction.
I think it's such a niche kind of idea, and uh, me being in the church planting game and pastoring, it is really difficult when you're starting churches or you're growing churches and faith communities to have the right people to help set all of the tech side up. And you can't actually do anything in the community these days without tech. So this is a real gift to, I think, the church and local faith communities. And can I just do a bit of a shout out that, if there's any churches or faith leaders out there listening to this, if your church is in need of someone to help them with the tech side of things, then reach out to Alioune. He would love to partner with you to see magnify what you're doing in the local community.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Where, just before we go any further, where are you based, Alioune?
So base is a good word, right? Because I'm always all over the place. But for now, I am based in Ottawa, Canada.
Awesome. And I'm beaming in from Brisbane, Australia, and it's great,
Yeah,
isn't it?
just around the corner.
I just love technology. We can actually support one another from different sides of the world. If we jump into Higher Deeper, when you think about the day you decided to join the collective, the Higher Deeper collective, what was your primary challenge or goal taking up most of your headspace?
Just because I run so many businesses, have so many ideas in my mind, time was a big scarcity for me and still is. But there was a post that you had. I think it was the leadership pulse test that you had. And
Yep.
obviously, because I like to improve, I like to learn. I just thought to myself, well, I've been in so many leadership courses. I have these certifications. What is there to learn? I know we can always learn, but let me see, where do I stand? And so I
Yep.
did take the leadership pulse test, and it was eye opening. And I thought to myself, okay, this is where I stand. That's not where I hope to be. So many blind spots. I need help. So I
Wow.
didn't call you, ring, 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 but I was like, okay, Sue, I'm in. How do I sign up? Actually, I knew how to sign up, but I signed up as soon as I got the results. So I was lacking. I think the results showed that I was in the middle, and that obviously there was more to learn. And so, yeah, that's how I first joined the community. And then I didn't stop just in the community side of things. I joined the group and also the deeper impact plan. So, yeah, I was all in.
Awesome. 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 Yeah. I think you've been a great support actually to other people in the group coaching sessions. But it is, we think we sometimes it's we need somebody else to hold the mirror up to us to really be able to show us actually there are some more spaces. And as leaders, we never stop learning, we never stop growing. There's always some things that we can be tweaking, and that's where community is great to have, or somebody else to help just hold the mirror up for us, see those spots, and then we can start moving forward and working on them. So, can you, through the coaching journey and the collective, can you point to a specific kind of moment or insight that shifted your mindset or the trajectory of Maglaction or what you were doing in Maglaction?
Yeah, so we had many group coaching sessions and one-on-ones as well. One that stuck up to me, I still remember it, was where I was expressing my fears. One thing about being in such a group is that you can be vulnerable because you're amongst your peers, right? So you can
Mm,
say things that you're experiencing, and then hear what others have to say about it. So I was telling our group that, okay, I've been running these businesses, but I've never run a not-for-profit before. Um, where am I going to get the volunteers from? And I just had all sorts of supportive and encouraging feedback from you and all the other people in the group, and it was just an eye opener for me. And I felt a lot. I felt so relieved that it wasn't that bad or that complicated. Sometimes you just need to hear it from another person, and then yeah, something that looked so daunting was just super exciting afterwards. So yeah, I cannot thank you enough for that, Sue.
oh,
Uh, yeah,
that's
even
that.
on the one-on-ones. So yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. I do relate to the being daunted, setting up my own business, the moments of going, it's just overwhelming, and the dauntingness, and you lose the cognitive ability to actually think through things practically. And actually having those group sessions can bring us back into that space of, oh, not so
yeah,
difficult after all.
yeah.
Um, uh, can you think of something that's been surprising during the coaching experience
Good
or
question.
the collective? Has there been something that kind of you've gone, oh, that's really, I would never have expected that experience being part of the collective?
Uh, Surprising and funny at the same time, kind of. Was when I did ask to the group, hey, because I like to read as well. What are we reading right now in our collective? And so many suggestions, great book suggestions, and then one person in particular just started listing so many books, and I was so surprised, and I kind of liked it. That's the funny side. I didn't expect it
Yeah.
um, from
Yeah.
that sort of feedback. I do like the interaction that we have, on a either weekly basis or whenever. I could just post a question on our LinkedIn group, and then within hours, maybe it's because of the time zone, but almost immediately I get answers in the comments. Um, the other side, not really surprising, but I never had any official proper coaching experience per se until Higher Deeper. So I didn't know what to expect each time. But what I
Yeah.
really enjoyed was the planning session that we had for Q2, I think, where you
Yep.
were basically took us, all three of us, step by step, and we built the Q3 all together with a prayer at the beginning and at the end, and it just helped us visualize everything and set up um, contingency controls, and just all that in one session was very impressive. I was very impressed with what
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
able to achieve. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that. And because you've got somebody leading you through it, I think it's focused and you don't get distracted. Like we just keep moving through it. And so you cover the whole gamut of actually how you can achieve what you want to achieve, and identify risks, and identify obstacles and work through how to overcome those in that session. That's the
Yeah.
strategy mastermind. I do love that.
Yeah.
I do love a
Yes.
good planning session.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with it. What you don't plan, you don't do. That's a bit of a thing with me. Um,
Yep.
uh, what was your biggest hesitation before investing or jumping into the collective?
I think this would resonate with a lot of entrepreneurs or solopreneurs
Hmm.
um, predominantly. I think most of them, or most of us, let's just say, maybe I'm speaking to myself, like to have things figured out on their own uh, until we get burned so much that we do realize that, it's teamwork that makes the dream work. You can only do so much alone. I go back to that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So
Mm.
I think one of the hesitation would be uh, the self-talk saying, I can do this on my own. I don't need coaching. I can figure it out. I have
Yeah.
ChatGPT. I'll just ask
Yeah.
AI, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that was one thing, but I think, just the leadership pulse I did, the first test, just uncovered. It's not something that AI would uncover or that I would see by myself. These are
Mm.
supposed to uncover your blind spots for a reason. And so having
Yeah.
people around where, you share your story, you share your challenges and questions and whatnot, and then you have your peers that went through, experienced peers that went through these or in different fields, but also can tie in their input is just so much valuable. So if there's anyone on the fence that are kind of like me or identify themselves as, entrepreneurs, yeah, I'll figure it out. I don't need this, or I'll just ask Gemini or ChatGPT.
Mm.
Think twice. Give it a go. Do a
Yeah.
test, and then you'll see for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. Um, just as we're wrapping up, what's one major win or breakthrough that you've experienced being part of the collective that perhaps would have been further down the track for you if you hadn't joined?
So right off the bat, what I could say is if I wasn't in Higher Deeper, Maglaction wouldn't have been a thing. It's
Mm.
thanks to Higher Deeper, the community, the collective, that this actually got created. because otherwise, yeah, it was just postponed. So you, Maglaction, you helped me take action,
Yeah, great.
Sue, and the team. So what else? Yeah,
Nice.
it's because of Higher Deeper that Maglaction came to be and is
Yeah.
growing. So biggest win is that this happened, but also on the health level. So completely switching. Uh, uh, yeah, just switching. There's the not-for-profit side, but there's also the personal side where, as I work on so many things, my health was also affected, and I was just subscribed to these cyclical burnouts. And thanks to Sue, I was able to know how to pace myself, and I'm doing so well right now because I can sleep well,
Mm.
and I know when to say stop. And going, not touching my computer past 11. Okay, I'm still working on that, but the whole pacing yourself thing was a major victory for me this season with Higher Deeper. So
Mm.
Maglaction came to be, and I was able to pace myself.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that, because in our leadership and in what we're the call that we've got on our lives and trying to accomplish that, it's leadership isn't just one part. It's all, it impacts all of our life, all, every component of our life. And I'm really excited that you managed to get those two breakthroughs being part of the collective. It's exciting to see. That's I guess that's why I get up in the morning, is just to be able to see other people succeed and move forward in a holistic way, every part of their life doing well, as it says in Colossians, prospering in every part. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, um,
definitely. I was
yeah.
going to say you're definitely a positive force in this field. I didn't even know this field existed. I mean, I know I've joined, different masterminds in business, but not with this aspect, this faith driven aspect. If you choose to do so, but just the not for profit side,
Mm.
I didn't even know. I don't think there's one in Canada. I mean, I have to look into this, but you're definitely a positive force in that field, Sue, and I cannot thank you enough. I mean, see for yourself all the great things and the great things people say about their experience working with you. So I can only hope more and more people hear about this because, not just us, but the result would, or your impact would just be even greater. So,
Oh, thanks, Nikki. Yeah, it's just such a joy for me to be able
yeah,
to enable and support people like yourself with the dreams that God has given you, or the dreams that people have, just to support them in actually seeing them come into being and impact other people in the spaces they're in. So thank you so much. Thank you
yeah,
so much, Alioune, for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing so honestly and from your heart and from your experience. I really do appreciate that. To all the listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. And listen, if you want to chat about your leadership journey, if you want to explore how you can grow or gain clarity or jump into one of the strategy masterminds or group coaching sessions, then look, you know where I am. Just reach out, send me a message, and I would love to talk soon. Anyway, I hope you have an awesome day today, and go higher, go deeper, and hope to see you soon. See ya.